Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Candice.
And welcome to Don't Start.
And as we like to say, don't start.
Candice, save it for the show.
Exactly. So let's get to it.
So here we are, part two.
Here we are, part two. For those of you joining us, this is our fertility stories that we're sharing on this episode. I'm going to continue my fertility journey. It left off with me coming out of surgery with Dr. Vidali. He said, you'll be pregnant in 6 weeks. I do have endometriosis. That's what they found out of the big giant surgery. And I was pregnant in 6 weeks, like I said. And then unfortunately, actually on the 12th week.
The 12th week.
The 12th week, I lost the baby. There was no heartbeat. You know what? Thank you. And I'm sorry to anyone who's ever been through a miscarriage. I didn't realize how many people have gone through it until I shared my miscarriage. And the reason I had to share my miscarriage, and I don't want to joke about this, but Tom and I did the thing, which was 4 weeks pregnant. We told everyone. And I mean, it was Easter at the time. So we did this big thing where I have a very big family, so we do a big Easter. It's one of the big holidays we do. And we all handed out lottery cards as gifts. And everyone was like, oh, Candice and Tom bought a gift. Awesome. And everyone starts scratching it off and it says we're pregnant on the thing. And I have this video and it was this giant thing celebrated. And it was so amazing. Everyone was screaming and crying because at that point it was 6 years. And everyone was like, thank God. And then losing the baby all those weeks later, then having to go tell everyone, oops, sorry. I had a bit of, and maybe people can relate to this, but I had a lot of guilt because I felt that my cousin's kids were there, my sister's kids were there. Some were 6, some were 13.
Candice, it was horrible.
It was horrible. So I had to then explain and
you
say,
didn't need to explain anything.
I felt like I did, which was.
But I'm telling you, you did not need to explain anything to anyone.
You're right. And I think that was something it took a while for me to get over because my cousins were very, very kind. They were beautiful people who said,
As
oh my God.
As they should be to you.
What can we do? Oh, we've been through it. And then I went, oh yeah, I was not paying attention, but because I wasn't in that space. But a few years ago, she did have a miscarriage. And all of a sudden, and then my mom coming forward being like, I think I had some and I didn't connect them. She didn't connect them. They were maybe early on miscarriages. But, it was a different energy that I started to realize a lot of people have gone through this. And
would you like to ask me?
I'm just about to get there. I was just about to be like, Sarah, do you want to tell us? And it's good we can laugh at this, but it is, I know you have gone through a miscarriage.
As you were saying, you were honest with people about what you went through.
Yeah.
How that is what you and I connected with about starting this podcast.
Yes, immediately.
Was that you and I dive into life.
Yeah.
We wear our emotions and our heart on our sleeve.
Yeah.
And that's also talking about good, bad, funny, exciting, but also stories like that. And for me, you were that person. You were one of the strengths for me when I went through my loss. And it was something that you can't tell anybody how to feel all these things.
No.
And you don't know what to say. So but your cousin did in that moment, right? Because she said
they were great.
They were great. And I think in that scenario, putting yourself into this positivity to then have complete heartbreak in a public format and environment, that's really, really challenging.
It's tricky, isn't it? Because I feel like, and you can of course speak on how you feel with your journey, but getting pregnant is so exciting. And you're like,
okay, so
we'll talk that thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Right, exactly. Well, that's true.
So everybody out there doesn't necessarily all have those, but also that's always the joke. Have you ever do the pregnancy test where you're not pregnant? They never have those commercials where the girl's like,
I never had that feeling.
Everybody has their journey. That's not what I'm saying I feel, but I was just saying.
But I know what you're saying.
I'll tell you what. So
tell us.
When Chad and I both lost our dads, it was the moment of, well, fuck it. Let's try it.
Yeah, because at that point, and I don't want to say that's the place in which you make a baby, because there is a lot of the fuck it attitude. Because by the way, every other doctor I saw said, just go have fun, which was go fuck it. And I'm like, by the way, literally go fuck. But literally telling me to go have fun? Yeah. I've been doing that for 20 years with this man.
I've been rehearsing for a very long time.
We've been having fun. Nothing's happening.
Isn't that such a joke when you go to the doctor and they're like, well, are you trying? I mean, if if you say having unprotected sex is trying,
100%.
We went for it.
And by the way, not to like, I want you to continue, but one doctor actually said to me, and I distinctly remember, have you had any accidents? And I went, accidents?
Oh.
And she was like, any oopses? We're like, oop, I became pregnant. And I said, no.
And me neither. And I know that women have all different stories.
And there's nothing wrong with it, but it was just that moment that the doctor was like, oh, because that would be great, because then I would think you can get pregnant. Yeah. And that is something I actually said to you when you said, I've lost. I was like, yeah, but you got pregnant. That's a gift. But continue, because I always looked at it as, you got pregnant.
So, never experienced a positive pregnancy test in my life.
Wild.
But we after we had lost, we realized, I've been very focused on my career for so long, which if maybe this is a conversation I do want to have, maybe I'll start here too, is that for me as a woman, I never dreamed of marriage, the house, and a baby. Did I always have a dog? Yeah, there was always a dog in my scenario.
Hell yeah.
A scenario of life. But so for me, that wasn't necessarily written in my story, but I would say a lot of things in my story that I saw myself becoming. You got to let go of some of that and let it just flow, because fate and things and timing and also happy accidents or surprises still create who you are as a person, your life. You can't plan it all. And so I would say the thing that I feel is a struggle as a woman that's career driven is being accomplished, feeling like you've done what you've always dreamed of, having my career in the entertainment industry, feeling financially stable, and to be at this place, find that partner that you can rely on and trust. All of a sudden, how old are you? And how much time do you have left to become a mother?
The hourglass starts with a lot of that.
And that's some of the things that, for me now, the last couple of years, messed with my head.
100%.
And so when you finally do feel like, oh, maybe this isn't my story, it's also sometimes the most challenging time to be like, oh, is it possible?
So can I ask, when you peed on that stick and that came out positive, what was this reaction?
So I guess I was secretly, I'm itchy. I was doing the Amazon.
Having a physical reaction.
I am. And I was doing the pregnancy test via Amazon coming to the house. Because I guess, I don't know, going to the store and buying the pregnancy test. And maybe that's like the 20-year-old self, like being like, oh my gosh, they're going to question. They want to know what's happening. Do I want it? Anyway. So I had them coming. And I don't even remember anything before that. Like, primarily, I was pissy. I was swollen. I was emotional. And so I just thought Chad had just gone to the gym. Me and Juno at home. And I peed on the stick. And it felt very similar. And I think I've said this to you before, of the moment when I found out my dad passed, where my life would never be the same.
Yes.
And I felt the same when I looked at the pregnancy test and thought, like, it was nothingness. It was just like this air, which I kind of feel right now, where I got numb in the fingers. And it just was like the void of the lights out here. Yeah. Like, it was kind of just this.
It's like sitting in an empty theater, right?
Yes.
Yes, I know. I'm with you. It is.
Wait, I love that. That's exactly
because the reason I perform and go out beforehand is to sit in that empty theater
and feel that space.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then it went.
Oh my God. How do I handle this? Yeah.
I think about work. I think about walking pregnant to my grad school, graduation. I put the scenario where my life would be completely different.
Right.
And that's how, like death, right? I'll never be that person prior to the moment of loss. This was a gain of completely changing my life. And I looked at Juno, I was like, we got to go for a walk, Juno. And Juno and I just sat in the grass looking at the water. And I was going through it in my brain, and I was like, I was just trying to figure it out, but seeing the 9 months, and where it's going to land and all that. And then Chad came home. He walked in the front door, and I guess I told him, and he had the most calmest, grounded reaction, and which is why I love Chad very much in the moment where I'm spinning. And he's like, wow, this is incredible. Yeah. I'm so excited. And this is, and I've always said this, no matter what, two people creating a being is the most magical thing that can happen on this planet.
Insane.
It's magic.
It's like, yes, it's so magic.
Yeah.
My niece said it perfectly. She said, it's like unicorn dust. When she was talking about how people make babies. She goes, unicorn dust, because it's just not of this world. That's how it felt to me too. But yes, continue.
Which I would say also is what it feels like to be pregnant. Yeah. I was I obviously scheduled immediately to go to my gyno, which I don't think I don't think people do.
No, they don't.
And then my gyno was really lovely and said, and by lovely, honest, realistic, a woman your age,
great.
Do not monogram anything. Let's get through this.
Which, by the way, for those listening,
I like realism.
The old school way, and I call it old school just because it's my older people in my life have said it. Wait till 13 weeks, get through that 12-week appointment, then make the announcement, which, again, I'm reiterating, I didn't. 4 weeks, 6 years of suffering, I blurted it to everyone, and then I lost a baby. I don't regret it, but there is a bit of, I don't regret it at all, actually. I love that I blurted it out, but there is I love it too. Shame there because you had to then go and tell everyone.
But that was a lot.
It was a lot. I had to get it out.
So what happened with Chad and I Chad and I went to the doctor. Well, I went for initially, and she said, "Oh, it looks good." But it wasn't at the time. We went back 2 more times, and Chad came, and
you got to go a lot of times.
We heard the heartbeat and everything, and we were scheduled to go in at 10 weeks to do a lot of the testing.
Yep.
Throughout that process of those weeks, we didn't say anything to anyone, and it was this beautiful secret because I am someone that tells people I am honest.
But now you're in your own bubble.
And I feel like maybe since both losses, but in general, I've become a lot. I know we're talking about it right now openly, but I do think it's powerful and strong, and for us to be honest about these things. But I have become more conservative in my life with protecting.
I get it.
My people and our team. And but we did lose. We got in to do the test. They can't find the heartbeat. And so we did lose, but I didn't have a miscarriage. So I had to have a D&C. And the thing that I felt really hard was seeing the heartbeat and then having those feelings like it's happening.
100%.
Right? We're we went through 3 different exams from, don't monogram, but then each time. So I did not expect that. I didn't expect that. No. And I think we talked about this early.
You shouldn't expect that.
Yeah. I think we talked about this also early on is I am someone that likes to get things done and feels like I can, even though I can't do it all, but I feel like I can. Mm-hmm. And not saying that's like a goal-oriented thing, but when that was taken, I cried just before surgery, and I think it hit me really hard. Fear of surgery, but this is very sad, and I felt anger now, and I think I'm better at peace now. But for the last couple of years, you and I talked about this. About prior to us starting to record, about I don't want to be an angry person. I'm really someone that doesn't want to be angry internally. But when you do have loss, it's a lot of the why. The thing that brings me peace in those whys is health.
Yeah.
We want a healthy child in our lives. Mm-hmm. We didn't want issues for me or the baby. And so for us, the D&C was the right choice. I know it's a very controversial subject in the world right now, whether with abortions, not miscarriages, but how to handle those scenarios. But for me, and for our family, the most important was everybody's health.
So I was that 100%
fine
agree.
How I said that?
Yes, and I'm going to dig
because this is a very sensitive subject.
I want to dig into this though because it's important, female health.
And I have to say, all of the doctors made me feel loved, supported, and it gets me emotional because
you need that.
You need it. And so did Chad, of course.
I don't know if you obviously remember. We had a conversation of you said, how do I take care of this? Yeah. And what I mean by that is
there's all different scenarios.
A doctor, so same thing like what Sarah said, we didn't have a heartbeat either, which is a conversation of the nurse or male nurse, how they deliver the news.
Was it very similar where you went in, or did you not feel good all of a sudden?
Okay, so I had I worked out in the morning, And I didn't do a heavy workout. I'm pregnant. I'm scared. I'm really scared to do a heavy workout because there are all these things that you read. And I started to have a little bit of a stain. And I went, ooh, I'm scared. Yeah. I called my doctor.
I had a stain
and my doctor said to me, it's fine.
That's what I was trying to tell myself.
And I said to Tom, I know I'm crazy. You're going to think I'm crazy. I said, but I just want to go and check and I get an ultrasound. He was like, let's just go. And we were living in Jersey, obviously, and we had a city doctor at the time. So I drove all the way into the city, an hour and a half, and I said, I stopped staining. I guess it is fine. I can't believe I made us drove all the way here, sort of energy. We get into the room. They do the ultrasound.
What are you feeling in this
those moments?
Were you nervous? Were you...
Every person I was texting, meaning my mom, my sister, my 2 cousins who've been pregnant before and stuff like that. Oh, don't worry. I've always stained.
Oh, yeah.
I stained for 4
so you
months.
Were giving like...
So I was like, okay, maybe I
feeling
kept
kind
having...
of peaceful about
maybe
it.
this is fine.
Yeah.
This is a part of pregnancy. Like I wasn't sure. I've never been pregnant.
It wasn't pure anxiety.
No, not pure anxiety. And then I get into the room, and the second they did the ultrasound, I didn't hear the heartbeat, and I didn't see the movement on this. And at this point, I'm 6 years in. I've seen a ton of scans. I understand what it looks like. And the technician, who I believe meant well, but I do think there's something in our medical industry in which technicians aren't really trained of how to deliver this news. I went, ooh, can you turn up the volume? I don't know. And then I said, oh, there's no heartbeat. And he looked at me and he said, ooh, you know how to read a scan? As if, oopsie.
You're you're not a dummy. You've gone through this experience.
And I said, yeah, I do.
You're also a grown woman who is, yes.
And instead of saying, ma'am, I'm so sorry, he just went, I'll be right back. And then didn't come back for like 20 minutes. And Tom and I are in there and I'm like, there's no baby. And he's like, no. And Tom's like, it'll be fine. I said, no, I know what it is.
You feel it.
You feel it. At that moment, I knew.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And that being said, afterwards, I want to get into this because it's important for people to understand as females, you do have a choice. You have a choice of a DNC. You can miscarry at home. They give you you can take
there's a medication.
There's a pill that you can take. I, in that moment, was like, I want a DNC.
Yeah, that's my doctor as well. They want, because no matter what, even if you have a natural miscarriage, they have to possibly clean.
So here's what...
Is that the right way to say it?
100%. When you called me to be like, what do? I was like, get that DNC. I wanted one.
It's a controlled environment.
It's a health thing for me. Like you said, all the tissue is going to come out properly. Here we go where I say I want one. The doctor said, I can't give it to you until tomorrow morning. Are you okay? I said, absolutely. I went home and I went over in pain and I miscarried at home.
Oh, wow.
So I never got to have a DNC. And there's a lot of...
I didn't know that.
Fear. Yeah, I don't talk about it a lot because it was a really weird experience. It was beautiful and weird because I said to Tom, oh, I guess this is what... It was a baby that came out. It was a baby. And I was like, whoa. And I said, oh, this is what it must feel like to give birth because it just felt like that to me.
And you would honestly, you were in the safe zone. You were just about there.
Yeah.
And that's where you're like clinging. It's I'm sure maybe pregnancy becomes, you could tell me in a bit, maybe it becomes fast after that. But like those
beginning moments are huge.
Yeah. I got really sick with one of the worst flus that I've ever had, like a couple weeks before that. And I didn't get out of bed. Chad said he never saw me that sick. So there's things, and
you have theories. Sure.
You start having theories in that. But we didn't tell anyone, and I was 10 weeks. When I did go in for that.
There,
So it was like, oh, we were close.
We were there, yeah. Of course you were.
But what I felt was a very messed up mental state of being excited to tell people, because I don't even think people would have expected that Chad and I were trying.
Sure, it was like very...
So we were really, I was like, it was so upsetting because I was feeling some positivity of wanting to tell people.
Yeah.
But then to say why I'm saying it, that we lost, but we were pregnant. And then also like you, after you found out that there was no heartbeat, there was time before my surgery.
Yeah.
And I went
trippy.
and I went to work.
That's trippy.
I went to work and somebody was on maternity leave. Somebody was on paternity leave.
Irony.
Everybody's pregnant. And that's the stuff where then, and it's a hidden, this is a hidden sorrow and grief.
Sure, you don't wear the banner that says what you just went through 12 hours ago and now you're at work smiling in front of the camera.
And that's the thing I want to double down with is like, you don't know what people are going through all the time. So I want everybody just to be a little bit kinder. But I think this is something that, other than if you do announce to people, which I think is exciting, it should be very exciting. I went to like a family party, like just having had the surgery the week before. It was like an Easter party. And it's like, I did tell some of the family, but then there's just children running around and you just feel conflicted. And conflicted. And you see couples that have 6 kids and you're just like, oh, maybe one.
Yeah, totally.
And I am someone where like Chad and I love each other and are excited about our adventure through life. Yeah. If our story includes a child, I'm very conflicted, and I've talked to you about it, about doing all the tests in this next kind of journey, about whether I wanted to add all that or just see if it naturally happens again. But like you said, like, are you trying? It becomes a thing, and it is something in my mind that it isn't an easy answer.
So I think this goes, by the way, there's no easy answer and there's no right answer, but there's the answer that works for you and your relationship. But there's something that you once said that you're like, we're the type of people that like, we go after what we want. Like, we're just those people. And I just mean in career and life.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what ended up happening to me, where people are like, how did you have an 8-year, like, why didn't you just say, God doesn't want me to have this baby? Like, I'm not meant to be a mom. Like, I had all those moments. I did.
Yeah.
And they stuck with me. But then there was this aching feeling in the bottom of my stomach that I actually remember being like, but that's not my story. Like, I kept having those moments where I was like, okay, maybe we'll adopt. I'll adopt. Doctor gave me the paperwork. I was ready. And then Tom would look at me and be like, I don't think that's our story. I'm like, I know, I don't either. It's not that I think it's a bad story. It's just not our story. And I kept feeling like that.
Well, continue your story. I told
no.
My experience, because yours continues.
It continues. And it continues. And I want to say it continues, because I want women who are listening or people that are listening in this moment to be like, okay, if she got through all of that crap, then there's a doorway for me. Yeah. And I'm going to say after that loss, I then went on a downward spiral of depression.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I did. Oh, I absolutely did.
Because you picking yourself up after that.
Yes.
Right? Stick with me.
Yeah.
As performers, we audition and audition and audition and audition. We get rejected, we get rejected, we get rejected. You get close, you don't get it. How do you keep picking yourself up? This is much bigger than that scenario.
But it is the same feeling.
But how do you keep putting one foot in front of the other and giving it a shot?
It was the first time in my life that I didn't. I just didn't. I was like, I'm done. I was like, I can't. I was very depressed. I was very angry. A lot of my friends now are giving birth and there's baby shower invitations coming in, and I was asked to plan a baby shower, and I said, I can't. There was just things happening around me that I was like, oh, and then I would say to God, why, when I go to the grocery store, is everyone around me pregnant? Why are you doing this to me? Like, and then I started bartering with God. Okay, you can have this. Give me this.
Yeah,
and that's so stupid.
Yeah.
But I kept doing it, and I did it for so long.
When I had all that loss that one year, I look up to God and I'd say, I'm strong enough. I get it. Like, stop testing me.
I would say that to Tom. I would say that, you're right. I would say that to Tom. I'd be like, I think I proved myself. No. And he's like, this is not, you start to get crazy.
My strength.
Like, I'm good. So then after I picked myself up, Tom did it. I never picked myself up. Tom picked me up. And we did a little bit we went to St. Lucia and we did some planning, and we loved being married because he said to me, we're forgetting the things that make us us. And then I was performing. And by the way, like Sarah said, be kind to people who you don't know what they're going through. I performed while having a miscarriage. I performed many times sick because of fertility medication or things that weren't going. So just give people credit.
Wait, but let's give you credit. Girl, the show must go on. My girl.
And I was like, jab the belly and get on stage.
And that's we have to give ourselves grace to say, look above ourselves and say, you don't have to do all this if you don't feel good enough to do it. However,
yes, that's true.
The working girls,
I was also doing it as like a distraction, right? Like a cover up of just like, okay, I'll make other people laugh, and that made me feel a little better. Yeah. Okay, I'll make other people feel good with this song or whatever.
When I went back to performing after I lost my dad, was the escapism would then flip on me, where I was high on adrenaline. That my down, I couldn't. Are hard. You'd forget that what you were going through, and then it would just consume you, where you wouldn't be able to catch your breath because you'd be like, I can't believe I forgot what I was going through. Yep. But also the reason why we do perform is because of the escapism lifestyle.
And in that moment of...
But it fills us. It fills us. Yeah, it's very fulfilling.
And it helped me. And
everybody in your audience needs it too.
I joke all the time with Tom when we talk about things. He's like, remember, at the end of the day, your show, what you've created, helped us through the fertility journey, because it made me feel good to make others feel good. And then I had 6-7 months where doctors were like, just go try natural. And then we tried natural. Nothing happened. Nothing was happening. I was depressed, but nothing was happening. And then I said, I'm going to find a new doctor. So then I found a new doctor who said, let's try little medication. And let's try to get eggs again. And now here we are entering our almost 38, 39, and we got some eggs, and we transferred, we got pregnant, and we lost again at 4 weeks, and it happened several times.
Your determination is pretty glorious.
It was insane, actually, the up and back. And I for those of you who go through that journey of you think you're pregnant, it was a miscarriage, which means you pee on that stick, it's positive, and then 2 weeks later, that positive's gone. And you're like, I didn't even make it to the I didn't make it to the 7th week. And I didn't get the heartbeat, but you're getting close because you're getting pregnant. And I was like, I can't keep playing this game. And it feels like a game. And I don't mean to call it a game, but that's what it feels like. And then I did now you have endometriosis. So let's take care of your,
you're worried about your health in general.
Exactly. Let's take care of your fallopian tubes. Are they open? For those of you who ever have to get the ERAs and I did blow out my tubes to make sure the tissues were all gone and clear.
Goodness gracious.
I also did, which I think helped my overall health. If those of you are questioning PRP, I did do PRP into my ovaries, which did produce more eggs for one round of IVF that I did do. None of those eggs stuck, which is fine, but that doesn't mean those eggs weren't super healthy. I actually still have them frozen, so maybe. I can't tell you that, but... one of them I still have frozen. The rest of them did not stick. But PRP was wonderful for production of eggs, and also it's great for injuries. They use them on NFL players all the time. PRP.
What does it stand for?
So PRP is platelet something plasma. I'm saying it's so wrong. Platelet.
Trying to see it.
Katie might write something in our chat.
We'll get it.
Guys, it's platelet-rich plasma. It's when they take your blood in a vial and they spin it in a machine to create brand new healthy cells.
You know that people do that for facials.
Yes, it's called the vampire facial, which I'm totally not against. I did it to my ovaries because I was like, I'll try anything. Yeah. And so we kept trying all these different forms. I am a big fan of, try a different avenue. I never tried the same avenue twice, which just shows you how hard it took for me to get pregnant, because no avenue was working. I also tried a ton of IUIs that never worked, which is, my mom calls it the turkey baster, where, Tom goes in a cup and then they would check when I ovulated and they throw that sperm up you. I hate to sound so, you guys direct, but I tried every avenue.
You really did. This is life at its complete, fullest is having a child and having this family. But man, does it parallel anything in life about never give up.
Yeah,
what a test on every scale of it.
And I think there was just something innately in me that was like, I don't need 10 kids, But if that beautiful woman walking with 6 kids can get pregnant blinking, why do I have to climb Mount Everest?
I know.
Like, that's what I kept saying.
Go to Disney World.
Right.
That's what I'm like.
Right. I had those moments.
I hydrate. I eat vitamins.
I had those
I'm not eating fast food.
I had all that. I looked at Tom one day. I said, I've smoked 3 cigarettes in my life. And the woman over there, and, doctors will tell you, crack women I got this all the time. Crack babies are born every day. Every fertility doctor I saw, except for Dr. Merhi, every fertility doctor I saw said the same thing. There are crack babies born every minute. And I thought, yeah? So meaning those women are on drugs and getting pregnant. So what are you saying about me?
the saddest scenario ever to be like.
What are you saying about me? Because, so he's saying go a different route?
Just... God bless all those children.
100%. But that is a term that you hear all the time.
And it's crazy that a doctor could ever say that.
Oh, almost every doctor said it to me. Then it started to be about, and this is a journey for health, like you said, the endometriosis, what that is, for those of you that don't know, probably 90%, I'm going to just toss out a number, but this is kind of true. Most women have it. We just don't know it until you get a laparoscopic surgery. You just don't know it, and you can't tell it on an MRI. You cannot tell it on an ultrasound, and that is proven fact. You can do all that research. Dr. Vidali does the endometriosis summit every year in New York City. He travels all over the world, and he's taught me so much, where he was like, just because you're sitting in an ultrasound and you're like, there's nothing there. I don't see any tissue. There's no black chocolate cysts. That's called endometriomas. There are black chocolate cysts that sit on your ovaries that help you, that prevent an egg from growing. So you can't get pregnant because that chocolate cyst is sitting on your ovary. I didn't have those. But when they went in there for my surgery, I was covered with them. But you didn't see it on an MRI. So
what causes it? Do they have
So endometriosis is an inflammatory disease.
Yeah.
It hasn't been labeled by our world, I'm going to say, as an autoimmune disorder, but it is to some extent, because anything can make you inflamed with endometriosis. Too much dairy, too much gluten. Let's be careful of the chemicals, right?
There are so many women right now complaining about stomach stuff.
And being inflamed.
Yes.
I'm inflamed.
Right.
Well, there's a deeper, we have to dig. It's usually endometriosis.
Yeah.
PCOS is another, polycystic ovaries, when your ovaries create a ton of eggs, when you're not getting your period sometimes for months, and then you get all these eggs. Those women had... it's painful. It's not easy. I have friends who have had it. But the upside to it is if they try IVF, they have to do 1 or 2 rounds of IVF because they get so many eggs. Me, I had to do 12, 13 rounds to get, 10 eggs, where they can do, 40 eggs in a sitting. Mm-hmm. It's I'm throwing out numbers that are not direct, but yes.
So now... Get us to how...
I'm so sorry.
No.
So then...
I want it because I know there's the finish line.
There's a finish line. So this is a year of all these different trials and tribulations. I also met an incredible doctor named Dr. Sammy David. You can find him. He is in his 90s at this point. He lives in Manhattan. He is a genius. He was the first doctor that I went to. He's not covered by insurance. And I was afraid to go because I went, oh my God, a first meeting with him is really expensive. And I thought, what am I doing? Well, I've spent this much at this point. I want to hear what he has to say. He literally said to me, send me every piece of document you've ever had on your fertility. I sent him, I'm talking a stack so thick that when Tom and I walked into his office, Tom looked at me and said, every piece of paper was marked with a note. We sat there for 3 hours, and he went through every piece. And he looked at me and he said, all this information at the end of discussing everything, he said, all this is telling me is, yes, you have endometriosis. Most women do. Take care of your body. Let's eat healthy. Let's take the right supplements. But everything here, nothing tells me you can't get pregnant. And I cried because at that point I was like, but look what's happened.
Yeah, I am so...
And he's
I'm
like,
tired. I'm emotionally...
Yeah, I'm done. He said, you'll be pregnant. I do think... if you want to try an IVF, I would do a natural one. And what that means is just inseminate the egg, put it back in your body, and do not do any medication. Try that. So I said, okay, I'll try it. We'll follow.
How you showed that.
Yeah, I did a little. He said, we'll follow your ovulation. We'll just monitor you. And that's what we did. And I went to another amazing doctor, Dr. Merhi, who said, I will follow your cycle. We'll do no medication, and we'll just pay attention to you. And I said, that feels right. He said, well, what do you want, Candice? And I joked in his office, and I said, I want to just get pregnant this month. And it was August of 2023. And he went, sure, That's what we're going to do. And I got pregnant.
Who was that?
Dr. Merhi. And he followed my cycle. He said, "You're ovulating, Candice. Let's do it." So we did the little insemination, and I got pregnant. Now, that is mind-boggling, considering there's no way that would have made me pregnant all those 7-8 years leading up to it. But Dr. Sammy David, the other doctor that I was working with 2 doctors at the same time, and they knew it. I said, he doesn't do IVF, but he is more of an herbalist. And I was creating a team to make this happen. It wasn't like it just happened. And I was also seeing Aimee Raupp. If you don't know who Aimee is, you can follow her on social media. She is a genius. I just love her. She is a health advocate of fertility. She wrote the book, Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. She got pregnant at 40, had her beautiful son at 41, all these things. So she was someone who was by my side, who was coaching me and being like, okay, I think you should not take any medication. I think you should do this, and helping me make my decisions, because you're also so emotionally attached to every moment.
Yeah.
And I said, fine, let's just do that. Let's just try to get pregnant this month, but not
And
try.
you're like, I'm cool. I'm calm. Everything's like
a little bit, but not.
That's what I'm saying. Like my mom and I talk about this a lot, that I wish we could take out that part of our brain that overthinks everything.
I overthought everything,
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm talking, where it's like every moment feels like it counts. That's
year.
so heavy.
Every moment felt like a year. Okay, come back next week for blood work. I'm like, you know how long next week is for me in my brain right now? Like, that was really stressful. But when I
you got pregnant, specifically, those days,
I didn't believe it.
Were you just... Yeah.
I didn't believe it, because at that point I was playing, I keep saying playing the game, so forgive me if I'm not treating this lightly, but what I mean is I was doing the thing where it was like peeing on the stick again. Okay, is this real? Is this going to be a miscarriage? Is this a leftover medication from 5 months ago? My brain was going everywhere. It wasn't leftover medication.
You could cut this if you want, but it's a question.
No.
Can I ask you a question? At any of this time, did you feel like you needed to take anything to kind of just calm yourself at all?
They always give you at fertility clinics, when you're doing an egg extraction, or if you're going through, IVF, they'll offer you Valium and stuff. I never took them. I also, you're going to think I'm crazy, but they put you to sleep with a lot of fertility clics, or give you a sedative to have your eggs extracted. I never did. I did everything awake.
And so then,
because financially, I was like, I'm not spending that extra $1,000. Like, I was literally like,
that's another show on the road, Mister.
Which is so sad, because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to need that $1,000 for the next IVF. I was very weird
feel
like that. I'm so glad I stayed awake, because Dr. Merhi, who I was with me towards the last 2 years of my journey, and was the reason, to help us get pregnant in the end. He did a lot of my eggs when I was doing a lot of the IVFs that weren't working, and he was like, let's try this path, let's try that path. He never stayed the same path. He would talk me through everything, and he showed me so much. He also did the PRP for my ovaries, and he was like, okay, I'm going to do this. This is going to go here, and watch on the screen. And I felt very empowered in a moment where I never had any power. I was just like, oh my God, here we go, another procedure, another whatever.
You're not just another person.
Yeah.
He kept you educated. He was there
phenomenal.
For all the steps.
And he's the type of person that never looked at my age, never looked at anything. He never looked at my AMH.
How many times did they say geriatric pregnancy to you?
He never said it.
God bless him.
He never said it. God, because you know why? He's got women that were pregnant 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
So he was never like, he almost was just like, we just got to find the right cocktail. And that sounds icky, but it's kind of true. The right potion for what worked for my body. Endometriosis was taking over so much that it wasn't letting my body get pregnant. Mm-hmm. It was, the inflammatory thing. If you get inflamed, the inflammatory goes up and down with endo. As you ovulate, for me, as I ovulated, I got more swollen. And how in God's name are you supposed to release an egg for that sperm to meet, and then that sperm's that little embryo is supposed to attach to a swollen uterus? So the trick for me was, the second I ovulated, we actually started a drip that we put in my arm we did it every couple of days, and it's called intralupids, and it's a ton of fish oil. And the fish oil is what kept my body not being inflamed.
I feel like fish oil is always like everybody's like, take fish oil. It's great. Is it great for everything?
Aimee will tell you she's just overall female health. She's like, cod liver oil is the way to go.
Okay,
and I do take it. I do take it now every day.
Cod liver.
And I had this drip in my arm that I did up until Maverick was in my belly till 12 weeks. I just kept going. And I was like, is this unhealthy for the embryo? And, doctors would say like, well, it's a lot of fish oil. You might get a smart kid. I'm like, done. Actually.
My parents always said eat fish and make you smart.
Makes you smart. So I did that up until 12 weeks. So yes, I finally did get pregnant, which was the most.
When was it that you thought to yourself, this is it? Was it until Mav came out, or
no? It was earlier. It was earlier, and it was because I said to Tom, the month I got pregnant, about 4 months before that, I said to Tom, I'm done. I don't want another needle in my body. I can't. I still have scars from it, and it's because I wasn't very good at the beginning doing needles, but I got better, got much better. But I said I'm done doing the race of I'm not meant to be a mom this way. I said, I want to adopt. And he said to me, can you just give me to my birthday? And I said, why? He said, I just have a feeling. And I went,
just give it to my birthday.
And his birthday was August. So I said, you know what? I'll do all the things. I'll still see Dr. Merhi. I'll have a conversation with the Dr. Sammy David, and he was the new guy. And I said, sure, I'll do all the things, but I wasn't in it. I was like, I can't. I was so beaten in some weird ways. It's a weird way to say beaten. I was
you were beaten down.
Oof, I was, yes. And then once I got pregnant, I didn't tell anyone for 8-9 weeks, but I just felt different than I did with my first pregnancy.
Yeah.
I got really sick, like I called it conjunctivitis.
Yeah.
I was like really stuffy nosed and my eyes were swollen, and I went, oh no, is this another miscarriage? I didn't have anything I felt like I had the flu. I was sick and things were changing. And I said, all right, so this feels different. Everything felt different. And then I just had a moment with myself and God. And I said, this is going to sound so ridiculous, but I actually, not that I gave God an ultimatum. I gave myself. And I said, this is it. If this one works, this is the one. If it doesn't, I'm done. And I said, you've made your point. That's actually kind of how I took it. And it stuck. He stuck beautifully. And he was a wonderful pregnancy. Yes, he was a big baby. And I gained a ton of weight.
And man, she looked beautiful. We partied.
We partied. But
we celebrated him.
All those pregnancies, a whole nother journey. But I think when you are going through fertility, you question, and I don't say you, I mean the general us. We question everything. I was mad that I didn't try in my 20s because I had the guy. I'm annoyed. I know there's women that would love to have had babies in their 20s, but they didn't have the guy. So they waited till their 30s. So I was like, I had the guy. What's wrong with me? I was so mad at myself that I made those decisions because I was angry. I said, my parents are going to live on this earth and never meet this kid. I had all this anger.
But also you saying, so for me, I have my own anger of seeing people that are, and I'm working on, I think I'm in a better place than I've been in a long time. I say that.
It's hard.
But I never even thought about it 20s and 30s.
Me, you know what's weird? Me neither.
So what I would say to you is you wouldn't be the mother you are today.
Right. I say that.
And I'm not even saying through the struggle. And I'm not even saying through the struggle because, man, does that make you grateful for how you've been blessed.
Yes, I'm internally grateful.
And who you are as a person, how you've developed and grown and become a strong, grateful mother for every moment you get to have with Mav throughout his whole life. And to teach him that strength that he sees in you.
Yeah, I had my sister said something, because my sister's a great mom. She's such a great mom. But she said something the other day, and I was like, oh, I love when Mav does that. And she says, yeah, that's because you waited so long to get it. And I was like, there is an element to that, because if this happened in a second,
we'd be a little sensitive.
Maybe if I rolled over and got pregnant, I wouldn't be as I don't even know if the word is grateful, because I am assuming everyone is grateful for their child. But there's this moment where you're just everything is amazing. It's true.
It was a lot of work to get here.
It was a lot, and unbelievable when I have moments now with other things, not with motherhood, not with fertility, when I have moments now where I'm like, that's going to be freaking impossible. Career things, financial things, like life things with our parents and Tom and I in relationships. And he'll look at me and he'd be like, miracles happen. And I'll laugh and he'll grab my arm and he'll be like, remember? And we both have this moment where we're like, yeah. Oh my God. And also, I literally was told you will never have a child so many times. So I just want to stress anyone who thinks miracles aren't, they're so possible. It's just, I don't know when it's going to happen for you or for whatever that journey is. If it doesn't have to be fertility or motherhood, but like, you don't know when it's going to happen, but they're possible. It's just, I don't know how it's going to come. I don't know what kind of basket of bows it's going to come in.
Yeah. And not all of it is bows, right? With what we deal with in our lives. But we're here, we're breathing. We have people that we love around us for support and going through things. And I have to say, I am grateful and thankful to you with your honesty, the strength, the journey you went through, because personally, me on the couch sitting beside you was able to get through something unexpected in my life in this regard. And it's because someone like you was so honest. And I know viewers watching as well.
All I do is cry.
Can know that, like, and it's so obvious in the knowledge you have as well. Thank you for your honesty and being so open to talk about it with everybody. I know some people feel shame about it. Yeah. And Chad and I are at a place with what's meant to be for us will be. It's wonderful. And I don't, man, we love our nieces and nephew, and I don't know what our story is.
You don't know what's around the corner, for sure.
But man, it's not an easy one to, I think for me, my career, I knew where I was going. And when I don't see that in but now I think at this point in my time, in my life, I've accomplished the story that I always was driven for. Yeah. And what is this new pivot? And so I've talked about it with you, being so driven so much for what I want in my career. Now I want to enrich my life. Yeah. My partnership, my family.
So much strength in that. And I think the one thing it sounds funny, but my dad would say to me, if you want to be a mother, all the time. He's like, you're going to be a mother. Keep fighting for it. In my dad's view, it was do another round of IVF. You will figure that out. You will figure out how to pay for that. Or try a different method. My dad was so wonderful, but at the same time, it made me giggle where I was like, is it that I'm not trying hard enough? That's why I'm not. But
right. If I exercise harder, I'll have bigger muscles.
But believe it or not, there's the way that it actually always comes to for most people is it's the cross between really wanting it and really giving up. And that's the hardest place for me to sit in because I'm just going to work harder. Right. I'm just going to do another round of IVF. And at some point someone pulls pulls you back and goes, wait a minute.
What about
calm down?
Yeah. What about your emotional, mental, and and also you and Tom and making sure that
take breaks
is a value that you're focused on.
Get back to your foundation. Yeah. That was things that I maybe should have done sooner in the long journey than maybe I think Mav would have been here earlier. I don't know. I can't test.
But we can't,
attest
right?
To that, right?
We the what ifs. Are not a healthy place to live.
And I always tell myself,
why.
The why.
Why did this happen? Why do I deserve this?
I say it's because I'm supposed to sit here with you. I'm supposed to tell this story so other women and other people ever wondering what to do next has a voice like mine and just can hear it because I took a lot of... It helped me sleep at night hearing other women go, hey, I got pregnant after blah, blah, blah rounds of IVF. I got pregnant after years of being told you have endometriosis. You're never going to get pregnant. And then they got pregnant. So all those stories, I would watch them on Instagram. I would try to find them because I needed to hold on to something. Mm-hmm. Because for me, if I didn't see someone else, then it wasn't possible for me. Right. So it helped me. So I just, that's the only reason really why I wanted to do these episodes so badly is because I just wanted to connect with anyone that needed a voice and needed to hear someone say, it could happen for you. It can happen for you. Anyone, because I was told everything was never going to happen. So It's all very possible, and you have time. You have time, because I was always told I didn't have time. You have so much time. I got pregnant with my son, who I think was very healthy, off of an egg in my body that was 8 years older than when I was told I will never have kids. So that blows my mind, because
you won the lottery, baby.
we won. We all, anyone
He's
who
got the
gets
best
that
hair.
baby. He's got the
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for being a part of this.
Yes.
Of this experience that we're
I'll cry less
here.
for the next episodes.
We'll have a little bit more laughter, but I think that's the best part about life, is being honest, being open, and having a sense of humor through a lot of tough things. But that is life.
Oh, gosh.
There's ups and downs.
I love you. Thank you for listening. And thank you for sharing your story, because that is no joke, that people need to hear that we all go through it.
And
So
through
many
all
of us.
these, we will be forever changed, but hopefully, we should always evolve.
Yeah.
And loss happens in life. And
Yeah.
I wish it was just a stork coming in and dropping it off, because, man.
That's what my mom told me was supposed to happen.
My body. I'll take those boobs again.
Oh, yeah. I love you.
Love you.
Thank you for listening. The stories we share are personal experiences and not intended as medical advice. If you need support, please reach out to a qualified health professional. Our hearts are with you on your journey to building your ideal family, and we hope these conversations help bring more understanding, connection, and hope to those facing infertility. Please share this with someone who might need to hear it. Thanks for joining us today.
You can follow us on Instagram at Don't Start Podcast.
Or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And we'll see you next time, friends.
Don't Start is produced by Anthony Street Productions.